what the haters talking about.
What's up, family? In this episode of Willie D Live, you will get 100% proof positive that the lottery is rigged. I know a lot of y'all saying, man, tell me something I didn't know. Well, this is just in case you didn't know. I'll tell you this. The prosecutor made a very compelling case. I mean, they got the dude who pulled off the biggest lottery scam in U.S. history. Now, the interview took place on Fox News. For the moment, disregard the messenger and focus on the message, if you will. Check out the video, leave your comments, and I'll come back with mine.
So tonight we are getting an incredible in-depth look at the story behind the biggest lotto scam in U.S. history, worth $25 million. How a little-known man from rural Iowa managed to crack the system and rig the games in 5 different states. He found a way to pick the winning numbers before they were even picked by the computer, if you can believe this, and now we know how. The answer lies in this grainy surveillance tape that was taken from a Quick Trip gas station off Interstate 80 in Iowa. It raised a lot of eyebrows back in 2010 when the man you see here wearing the hoodie and hiding his face comes in and purchases a ticket that would later be worth $16 million. But when it came time to claim the prize, he never showed up. His lawyer did, just 2 hours before the deadline, demanding that they wire the money to a bank in Belize. Something did not smell right. So that put the FBI in the position to put this young prosecutor named Rob Sand on this case. And he found some disturbing similarities in winning tickets that were sold on the same dates each year. May 27th, November 23rd, December 29th. All the winning tickets sold on those days happened to be purchased by friends and acquaintances of one man. His name was Eddie Tipton, and he happened to be a top IT worker at the agency that coordinates the lotteries between the states. Rob Sand, the man who cracked this case, joins me now. Rob, good to see you tonight. This is quite a story.
Thank you very much, Martha.
So, for people who are not computer hackers, explain in layman's terms, how did he do this?
Essentially, he had the job of writing code to pick the winning numbers, and what he did was he added just a couple lines of code that would enable him on certain days of the year to actually use a formula to know what the numbers would be. Rather than having to pick from one in millions, he would be able to narrow down his odds substantially.
I mean, it's incredible. And when you got this case kind of tossed onto your desk as a young prosecutor, and you start looking at this video and you start kind of piecing things together, how did you begin to crack this case?
Well, we had a great team to work with. Special agents in the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation, Matt Anderson and Don Smith, were incredibly helpful. Terry Rich and Rob Porter at the Iowa Lottery were incredibly helpful. We had helpers in Colorado and Wisconsin as well. But what we did was basically unravel this thread piece by piece over the course of a few years. We just had the Iowa ticket at first and actually had to go to trial knowing only about that ticket without a lot of the evidence that we would have preferred to have at the time. Yet we were able to win that case, secure a couple of guilty verdicts, and after that point, we had a tip from someone in Texas who told us that Eddie Tipton's brother had won the lottery in Colorado about 10 years earlier, and we went going from there for each successive ticket.
And you knew after that first case, and you got that tip, that there was probably more to this, that if he had done this, if he had pulled it off that one time. And it's also interesting when you talk about all of the people he worked with at the lottery organizations, they looked at the video and helped you guys find him, right? And they were shocked that this guy that they worked with could be pulling this off.
Yeah, it's really an incredible story. People said things like, "It was like finding out that my mother was an axe murderer," was the quote from one of his best friends who had worked side by side with him for over a decade. I mean, people were very blindsided by the idea that he could do this, but he was someone who had the opportunity to do it and the know-how to do it and the motivation to do it.
So have they fixed this? I mean, if anything, today people are even more sophisticated at being able to hack into systems. So how do you know this isn't happening again?
I think that fundamentally what it comes down to is there is darkness in the world, and there are always going to be people who are going to try to hack the system. We should always be trying to make systems better and make them more effective, but at the same time, we have to have a good law enforcement system to back it up because, as they say, you build a better mousetrap, somebody builds a better mouse.
Very true. This is an amazing story. Good for you for pulling this off. You think he's going to get out of prison early, right?
Well, in Iowa, we have indeterminate sentencing, so although his sentence is up to 25 years, he would get good time credit of about half of that, and then he'll probably get out earlier than that yet.
Quite a story. It's like catch me if you can. Thank you very much, Rob. Good to see you tonight.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Dude spent a lot of money on food. Damn, that's a big cat. Whoa. If someone can write codes to increase chances, that means someone can write codes to decrease chances. Damn state been fixing the lottery the whole time. If the winning numbers are computer generated, by definition, it's no longer a lottery. It's a scam. Wow. But you know what? People are going to continue to play because they want that money. People trying to get to that money. And they figure like at some point it's going to be their turn. I thought the lotto numbers were always manually drawn. I had no idea that they were computer generated. I guess I could have figured it out if I had really thought about it. I just never really gave it a lot of thought. This guy should have been happy winning, I don't know, once, twice, 3 times max. You got to know at some point they're going to catch on to what you're doing. But that's how that fast money life is. People don't know when to stop. The greed always supersedes logical thinking. When computers pick numbers, it is by definition no longer a lottery. A real lottery is by real random selection. Think about it. States control the winning lottery numbers. That means the whole thing is rigged. Whatever happened to simple bingo ball machines to select the numbers? To the people of those 5 states caught up in the lottery scandal, when y'all get through investigating, please send those agents down to Texas. I'm sure they'll find a few more disturbing similarities. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?